Nation, good evening. Michael Fontanello here. I am back from Vegas. 3 hookers later, I am still alive. I am feeling good. I am ready. I missed you guys last week. Shout out to Dan Coster for filling a spot last week. He did a serviceable job, I believe. Porch, great editing as usual. Let's get right to the matchups. Bring up the board.
You're safe. We got you. We're here.
I'm on fire!
Okay. All right, you're not on fire.
I knew it, you're lying! I'm fired!
Nep's just fighting to stay relevant in this league at this point. Carson Palmer, he's had a revolving door at quarterback all season long. If it was Jameis or if it was Carson, never could find the right fit there. Jennings on Monday night almost squeaks it out. If the Bengals played by what you're supposed to, if they played by smart rules and they let Rashad run so they could get the ball back with some time left at the end of that game, I think Jennings would have had enough points to win, and that would have crushed Michael Dino's soul for eternity. Didn't happen. Robert Kelly continues to be serviceable. Allen Robinson, Jordy Nelson, huge weeks. This is what we thought we were going to get out of them in the beginning of the year. But a little too late, but nice to see that for next year. Moving over to Deep's Nuts, he's found his quarterback, Dak Prescott. Ty Montgomery, Capri Bibbs, he gets about 5.5 points out of his running back 1 and running back 2. That's pathetic. Tyler Eifert continues to find his groove. Nice start, Tyrell Williams. Sat Doug Martin, tough play. He's got to do something with Russell Wilson. He can't let a talent like Russell Wilson rot on his bench.
What have I been going on about each and every week? Zach Didino's organization is a fraud. He is one of the worst 5-5s in the history of Guru Nation. He puts up 78 points and loses to a life support fish. Tom Brady. I am in constant communication with Tom. He does not like playing for Zach Didino. Finally struggled a little bit this week. Chiefs D was the number 1 scorer of the team with 16, and that was by far terrible week for the real young gun. We go to Team Fish, who, surprisingly enough, still has a shot at the playoffs. A solid 118 points. David Johnson, 25. Ryan Matthews, out of nowhere, 29. Terrence Williams shot the bed, but those 2 Herculean efforts from his running backs enough to carry him. We'll see if it is enough to carry Fish to the offs.
Finally, it seems that the tides have turned. Mamba back to his winning ways again. That's his 3rd win in a row, impressively. Eli Manning and Odell Beckham continue to be on the same page that we thought they'd be on all year. Melvin Gordon has been an absolute send from heaven. He's been a beast. Devontae Booker still can't figure it out. Cooks has been solid. CJ Fedorowicz, who Mama thinks he's the next Rob Gronkowski, had 4 points. JJ Nelson, tough start. Bruce Arians talks the guy up and he gets 1.9 points. Not much you can do. Moving over to Say My Namath. Very pedestrian week for Say My Namath. Brock Lobster was starting for him. I don't understand that. Head scratcher. He put up like 99 yards. Throwing total was pathetic. Spencer Ware still has been disappointing. Chris Thompson, 3.1 points. AJ Sala on Monday night, not enough. Bengals D let him down on Monday night also. Very tough loss for Mark. Moving forward, Mark's still in the hunt, still a dangerous 4-6 team, I believe. This 2-game losing streak cannot be helping him, though.
Gotta clap for the man. Team Sports. Dylan Jacobs. Who would have thought Dylan Jacobs would be 7-3 going into this year? He had a tough draft dealing with Goody and Derp all the way in the back.
No, and where's Derpy these days, man?
We'll get to that later.
No fucks, Jacobs.
Team Jacobs. Again, Drew Brees, arguably the most consistent stud quarterback we have in fantasy. LeGarrette Blount carries his Pats backfield. Demarius, Julio, Devontae. Devontae Adams has proven to be an excellent pickup closer to the off time. And Dolphins D, 17, all around nicely done, Team Jacobs. He's got to be a lock for the offs at this point. You go to Team Font, still in the hunt, 5-5. He's gonna want to build some momentum back up here. Cam played hard for him this week. Running backs were, I know Font can't be happy with those numbers. DeAndre has been a major disappointment since acquiring him. It looks like these days Rashard Matthews seems to be the biggest bright spot at Team Font. Devontae Parker, Font starts him and he finally does something. Gotta like that. Font's gonna be an interesting team to watch moving forward.
I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Okay, this Long Island Pickers team could possibly be the most high-powered.
I have been telling you that for a while.
They, all hate aside, this is such an impressive lineup. I mean, we have 30s all across the board. I mean, not really, but we have Roethlisberger, Bell, and Elliott had 100 points?
All had 30.
No.
Oh my God,
Zeke had
40. Zeke had 40. Holy shit.
I mean, just that combined, it's just so impressive.
I mean,
I would not want to face this team. They have really, really, really proven week in and week out that they are a very good team. They haven't made any stupid moves. They haven't really got hit with the injury bug as much as other teams have. I'll say that much. But moving over to Coach Jim. Coach Jim, if he put up 145, would have lost this week. It's mind-boggling to think that. Alex Smith, pedestrian. Jordan Howard, pedestrian. Todd Gurley, pedestrian. Mike Evans, pedestrian. Kenny Britt was his bright spot with 14 points. Broncos D was his second highest score with 11. From Carlos Hyde to Jimmy Graham. Wow, it was just a very, very tough week. Yes, he had a Cooper and Luck on bye, but that being said, should not be able to put up 75 points only. You are still 6-4, Goodman. If you're missing a piece or two out of your lineup, you should be able to put up more than 75 points. What a showing by Dom Bove, Connor James. Very impressive. Dan Bailey put up 14. Now I know why they paid so much for them. Michael Thomas was disappointing, but I don't see that sticking. Greg Olson needs to pick it up a little bit, as well as Gio Bernard. Moving forward, they are a force to be reckoned with, as much as that pains me to say.
I don't care if it's only been 3 games. Greatest rookie year in history of Guru Nation. Yep. Only 3 games in. I mean, I don't know when. I think I might put a graphic on the board here to compare how many points Derp scored a game compared to Danny Justino in 3 games. Because it's insane what he's done. 134, Font. 134!
Burger.
Aaron Rodgers, 28. Sproles, 12. CJ Precise loves playing for Danny Justino. Yeah. Loves it. 19. Yeah. Doug Baldwin.
Did Precise even play fucking college, man? He just picks these guys off the street.
Excellent move. Excellent move, Danny Justino acquiring Doug Baldwin. Stephon Diggs, 23. Just this team, ever since Danny Joseph took over, this team has played with a new fire. And per Daniel Koster's request, Danny Justino got rid of Tyler Boyd this week. There's only one player left that you gotta get rid of.
No, he did get rid of him, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, and that's Brian Quick. You gotta get Brian Quick's the only one you gotta get left. You got rid of Boyd. Quick's gotta go this week. I don't care if you gotta pick up a defense on a bye. You gotta get rid of Brian Quick. Go to Twan squad. 2 weeks ago, Twan broke into the top 5 at number 4. I don't know where he's gonna land this week, but he has absolutely plummeted, scoring now 62 points. 61.5 if you want to get technical. He benches Kirk Cousins, a man who's carried him to the top 5 for Carson Wentz. I just don't understand these moves. You've got to wonder what's going on in this locker room. You got to wonder if anything's going on in Twan's personal life as to why this absolute insane turnaround for all the wrong reasons. Twan, get your shit together, buddy. I want you to succeed in this league. You still have a chance. I want to see this team get back on the right track.
Matt Ryan put up 12 points, very unlike Matt Ryan this year. Lamar Miller gets volume, possibly losing his job to Mr. Blue. DeMarco Murray continues his sensational season. Nobody saw that coming. Alshon Jeffrey in his last hurrah with MMED goes out like he came in, 6.7 points. Randall Cobb 5 points, disappointing. Kyle Rudolph, nice find, 15. Jay Ajayi kind of quiet, but I'm not worried about him. TCP, Flacco 22. Terrence West serviceable. Crowell been horrible. Willie Snead back doing the Willie Snead things he did last year. Jameson Crowder, I love Jameson Crowder. Lance Kendricks, it shows he had 0.5 points. What did he have? 1 catch for 0 yards? Like, come on. Dez Bryant, huge, 20 points. Ravens D16, Caleb Sturgis, 9. This is a very tough week for MMED. TCP, I'm impressed. I really am. They are still alive. They are still breathing, as well as MMED. Moving forward, I think MMED has the better chance. Although the Alshon hit does hurt them a little bit. Not as much because he wasn't performing that great. TCP needs to do some better things next week, and that starts with not starting Lance fucking Kendricks.
Mr. Bobby, come on down here.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah! Ah!
Rapid Fire concludes. Only 3 or 4, I believe, weeks left in the regular season. Let's begin with everyone's favorite new segment, Fonts Creation, the Come On Man Owner of the Week.
Our Come On Man of the Week is going to be a man that I think we both have great respect for. Good guy. Never says shit about anybody. Anthony Aiello. Twan Squad.
Has to be.
Has to be. I mean, and we're not even trying to rip on you. You put up 61 points. Is that what he put up?
I believe last week he put up a low 70, I believe.
And I know you put up, and I know, can we pull up his team, Mike?
Absolutely.
So he goes from scoring 117. All right, so let's see here. He goes from scoring 114, 117, last 2 weeks against Jacobs and Justino, 72, 61.
Something's going on.
Something's going on, and I don't know what it is. Maybe there's some pressure at home to do better, or whatever it is. We want to just clear the head, Aiello. Let's look at his team this week.
I mean, and I think we mentioned it in Rapid Fire. You know, Kirk Cousins has done so much for you over the past couple of weeks, Twan, and you're just gonna bench him for Carson Wentz?
I don't understand the Carson Wentz move. It doesn't make sense to me. Paul Perkins also is very much of a head scratcher. There's really no back in New York Giants backfield I want to own. And if there's any, it'd probably be Rashad Jennings, just because he gets some sort of volume.
And I can kind of get where Twan's coming from with Kirk taking on Minnesota. But if you've been watching those games closely, you'd realize Minnesota these days is not the same Minnesota we saw the first 5 weeks of the season.
Right.
You know?
And I would say Jonathan Stewart, very, very disappointing since coming over in that trade. He had a very lackluster week the week before. This week he only puts up 3.9. This cannot be the Jonathan Stewart that Twan was looking for when he acquired him in a mid-season trade. He viewed him as a very strong RB2, not performing that way, and it's going to hurt you every single week.
And again, Marvin Jones and Moncrief on buys. Yeah,
I get that,
but you're gonna start John Brown, who Bruce Arians favors J.J. Nelson over.
Right.
And Pryor was surprisingly bad. Pryor's been a stud for most of the year, but 7.
Pryor was a good find. Now, you have another thing you have to realize is Gronk is Gronk going to be out long?
He's definitely not playing this week. I'd be shocked if he plays this week.
So that's another thing you have to think about, because Twan is 5-5, only 3 weeks left in the regular season. Every win's so crucial. Now, if he has to sit Gronk, This lineup all of a sudden looks very, very light.
I look at this bench. I don't see a tight end. I am honestly extremely excited to find out what tight end he finds off of waivers, because I don't even know. Is there a starter for tight end on waivers?
I think your best bet is like Toilolo or something. I mean, at that point, I would just pack it up. See you next year. Twan, don't go down like this. Get your shit together. Start Kirk Cousins moving forward. Don't get cute. Continue to start Jonathan Stewart. Jonathan Stewart has had 2 very rough weeks. He cannot continue this trend if you're going to fight for a playoff spot. Our come on man of the week, just because he scored 61 points, has to be Twan Squad. Come on, Twan.
We're praying for you, Twan.
We are rooting for you, bro.
No Roto World trade analyst this week, but there was only one deal that happened, so it'll be pretty simple to talk about. Cole Beasley for Alshon Jeffrey, Long Island Pickers, and MMED. Quite the controversial trade that needed a vote. Font, you took precedent on this matter. What do you think?
I'll take this over from here, thank you. Now, it has been a very much talked about topic. Alshon Jeffrey getting traded for Cole Beasley? What? I was against it personally. We took a league vote. Everyone voted. Now, the trade will go through and will be processed as it was accepted. Now, after taking it in, sleeping on it, I understand where both sides are coming from. Okay, Long Island Pickers in the playoffs. Okay, they are in the playoffs. They are definitely, I would say, first round bye.
Oh, Pickers are.
Yeah, they can take the next couple weeks off. They can go to the Poconos, do whatever they want. Okay, now MMED needs to win every week. Okay. Do I agree that Cole Beasley is going to take them to that winning land and take them to the playoffs? No. Does that mean that Cole Beasley cannot do that? No. He has a better chance of taking them to the playoffs than Alshon Jeffrey, because Alshon Jeffrey's not playing. Okay? It's not rocket science. I personally think this hurts the league moving forward, because I think this will just, having Alshon on Long Island Pickers in the postseason will just be an absolute. I mean, does he need any more weapons on that lineup?
Here's the thing.
It's crazy.
And I'm gonna do something that we rarely do here. Straighten this out. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna tell the league how I voted. I voted for the trade to be allowed, because at first I agreed. I was like, Cole Beasley for Alshon Jeffrey. That's a star traded for fucking bleached Julian Edelman. That isn't even that good. But
as Goodman says, Wes Welker wannabe.
Wes Welker.
Shut up, Goodman.
Scrappy.
Shut up.
No, but so I looked at Alshon Jeffrey's numbers this year, and even with Jay Cutler, he hasn't been what he was for me last year.
He is a total name at this point.
I gotta say, I think it's very, very similar to the Todd Gurley situation, where I called it on this show. I said, Goodman, I don't think you're gonna get much out of Gurley. He's a name, but I don't think it's gonna do much. And I think that's what the Pickers have found with Alshon Jeffrey. Listen, I'll be the first to admit, I fucked up last year with my retirement speech. A lot of players, Martavis Bryant in particular, did not take it the right way, and all of a sudden he's in rehab this year. Alshon was damaged goods going into this year. I kept it quiet. I should have told MMD at the draft, but Alshon was damaged goods.
And do I have to say it again? This was a phenomenal move by Long Island Pickers.
Like, listen,
was it not? Was it not a
come playoff
phenomenal move?
This is a playoff move. Obviously, I think any simpleton can realize that. If Alshon and Jay Cutler can find what made them studs for me last year in the postseason, phenomenal move by the Long Island Pickers. But
who made this move? Was it Dom?
It's got to be Connor James.
Connor James. Nice move, Connor.
But no, I am skeptical about Alshon. I don't think he'll be a stud.
I'm skeptical about Alshon, yes, but you're always going to be skeptical about Cole Beasley.
Listen, Cole Beasley is a guy who at best will give you 12, 11 points a
That's
week.
what I'm saying. He's not going to swing him. He's not going to swing a
Des
matchup.
Bryant's healthy and back, you know.
Terrence Williams eating into carries. Jay Witt.
Listen, I mean, if they obviously didn't trust Cameron Meredith. Cameron Meredith's a good kid. I think he's not gonna like that. He's not gonna like that.
I voted to veto it. If I could recast my vote, I would vote to allow it because I think it was just a smart move. It was a decent move for MMED. It was a phenomenal move by Long Island Pickers. Good job, Pickers. I'm really praising them tonight, and I feel nauseous. I feel nauseous.
Possibility
Can I
of that
get a- can I
tattoo?
get a bag,
is that
please?
gonna be? They've got to be the favorite to win it all. That
Now-
tattoo is a big. That tattoo is a big question mark.
That tattoo is annoying me because I think I'm getting nervous.
They're the favorite, man. They're
And if you guys
easily
think
the favorite.
think I won't get that tattoo, you're crazy.
Oh no,
This league is. Listen, okay. I'm not here to write a sad story here. This league is my life, okay? Now, there's no doubt I'm getting that tattoo if Dom wins. There's no doubt. I mean, I bleed for this league, literally. Literally.
Let me tell you, though, fun fact for those who don't know, Don Bove has been to the big game before. He lost the Guru Bowl to Derpy Hassett
Now,
long ago.
Now, here's my question: would we shoot the weekly at the tattoo parlor?
Let me tell you something. We tried to do playoff videos last year, and it didn't quite pan out, but who knows?
Stay tuned. Hopefully, we never comes to that, and hopefully, my skin does not become tarnished of Dom Bove.
There's a reason why I haven't been talking that much in the group this year. And you alluded to it, because I'm like in second to last place. I haven't been winning.
Right.
Last year, I was talking a lot in the group.
Third in
because
scoring.
I was winning. And, you know, I've always known my place in the league. I've never been one guy to do that shit. And so, controversial loss this week. You know, I lose by making a smart move, and I wasn't making excuses. I congratulated Mike, and I vented because who isn't gonna vent? Who in this league hasn't vented in?
I vent. Everybody vents, man. I vent to my two fucking dogs every time I lose.
And what happens? Mike Didino goes, relax. I sat Doug Martin. Not the same situations, mind you, but we'll let that one go.
Because he's not smart. He's not intelligent.
About a minute or two ago, Mike Didino puts in the group, something like, "Oh my God, if Rashad Jennings scored that touchdown," you wouldn't be venting. Really, you don't see the double standard there, Mike. You don't.
He's not.
You know,
he doesn't comprehend.
I mean,
things.
listen, and then he starts attacking me like, "Oh, you're 3-7, you can't talk." Blah 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 blah. You know, this guy. You know, bless Mike's heart. You know, he likes to find excuses to hype himself up because, quite frankly, there isn't much going for him.
Oh yes.
No. You take one look at the kid and you hear him say 3 words and you understand why there's not much going for him.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, congratulations! It took you 10 weeks to go 5-5. Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, you can talk. I mean,
Yeah,
congratulations.
nice
Mike.
trade with fucking Jarek McKinnon and Matt Asiati, you little fucking douche.
This is my first bad year in quite a long time. I'm 3-7.
Third in scoring list.
My season, my season's pretty much over. You know, I think anytime Didino wants to get into an argument, he'll probably say, "Oh, well, look at your record. My record's better, even though my team's kind of overrated and shit." But you know, it's fine. And then there's the big one. Did you know Mike Didino won a championship in this league? The most forgettable champion in the history of
I didn't
Beaver
know
Nation.
that.
Wherever his ring is, gathering up dust in some old fuck's attic somewhere.
He probably gave it to a girl. He probably proposed to a bitch, to some fat bitch. He probably proposed. He probably proposed to some bitch and said, "Here's the ring. Here's your engagement ring."
Oh my God.
He probably. That's how much the league means to this kid.
Listen.
Just gives it away.
You know,
He
who
doesn't-
takes pride out of saying my organization isn't classy? Cool. I mean, cool. You're not classy organization. Cool, Mike.
He is dirt. He's dirt I walk on.
Listen, Mike. Congratulations. You finally got the 500 after 10 weeks. I salute you.
Mm.
I wish you the best in your future endeavors, and I cannot wait to watch you throw another 7 interceptions to the Turkey Bowl this year.
Woo! I want to see Porsche hit Mike this Turkey
He's not
Bowl.
going to get hit because he's afraid to get hit. That's why.
You're right.
Did you see what he drafted? Did you see the fucking Great Wall of China that he drafted? He doesn't want to get hit.
Meat on top of meat, on top of roast beef, on top of steak, on top of meat. We are taking a look at our transaction list for the week so far. We had Colin Kaepernick being added by Fish for $40, and Fish also adds a kicker in Matt Prater for $20. Normally, we would yell at most teams. Problem is, Jay has a shitload of money left, and we can't rip on him for spending $20 on a kicker. We
He's
can't
finally doing something.
because he needs to spend that money. It's gonna vanish anyway. So Jay, you wanted a guy, you went and got him. Good job.
$40 on cap too.
Porch would like to apologize to Mr. Dan Justino.
Yes, he's done it. He's exercised the final demon. We didn't check earlier. Brian Quick, the final remnant of Dennis Hassett, no longer on this roster. He adds a former Nep, Deshaun Jackson.
I'm surprised Jackson was floating in the waivers, to be honest.
A couple of injuries, man.
Vernon Davis, nice add by Twan. Still has stayed relevant even when Jordan Reed comes back. Some defenses added, nothing to write home about. Ted Ginn Jr., who quietly has 5 catches the last 4 weeks in every game. Nice pickup by Mamba. Hopkins added for Porch. This is the move I really want to talk about, though, is Mike Dino drops Matt Asiata.
For Dwayne Washington.
But it's not even that. It's you dropped the guy and you just traded for him, 2 weeks ago?
That's how Mike works. He doesn't care.
You are such a week-to-week team. No, you know what? It's so typical Mike to have like a Russell Wilson on his fucking bench. You know? It just shows you how mismanaged the Dino's team is.
You look at his... are we going to have to take a look at the Dino's roster right now?
Pull up his roster.
Because I'm pretty sure there are only 2 men on this team that he actually drafted.
You know...
Like the starters and the bench here. Looks like he's starting to make some moves here. Russell getting the start, possibly.
Antonio Brown is such a love-hate relationship with Antonio Brown. 2 weeks ago, he fucking hates him. Now he loves him. You gotta pick. DeMarco Murray was a nice pickup. He does have to deal with the bye coming up. But Mike DiDino has made it clear he is definitely a week-to-week team, which I understand he needs to be. But it's just crazy the amount of moves this guy makes. And you have guys like... You know what?
I think that's it, actually. I think Tyler Eifert is the only drafted member of his team that's left.
I believe you're right. And that's I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know?
You know what? Let's have some fun here. You know what we can do? Let's check out the draft recap and actually see who was on the original Deeps Nuts roster.
I'd like to see that. I really would like to see that.
Let's go all the way back to week 1 on the schedule.
Oh
Screw
my
the draft.
God.
Screw the draft report. I think that's so much easier.
So let's compare week 1's team.
So he lost to the Pickers by 130 to 92. So let's take a look here at the original Deeps Nuts roster. Aaron Rodgers, Todd Gurley. You know what? Let's click on them and find out who owns them now. Aaron Rodgers, currently owned by Dan Justino. Todd Gurley, currently owned by David Goodman.
Boo.
Oh, is Doug Martin? Did he trade Doug Martin for DeMarco?
Yeah.
That's why. Doug Martin, now a member of MMED. Jeremy Maclin, now a member of Dan Justino. Emmanuel Sanders, now a member of Dan Justino's roster. Martellus Bennett, now a member of TCP. Isaiah Crowell, TCP. Titans D, FAs, shopping somewhere. Adam Vinatieri, the White Mamba. Tyler Lockett, free agent, it seems. Tavon Austin, just dropped.
My God.
Jimmy Graham, owned by David Goodman. Dorial Green Beckham, free agent. Terrence West, TCP.
If you look at his week 1 lineup to now, oh my
It's
God.
not even. It's just Eifert. That's it.
How bad has this team gotten? Like, before the season starts,
It's incredible.
you tell me, like, Aaron Rogers, Todd Gurley, Doug Martin, Sanders, and Macklin. You don't have any of those guys left, does he? He has none of those guys left.
He does it every year. If he loses, if he goes 0-1, he feels like he has to nuke his roster. And because he wasn't undefeated going into Week 7, he felt like he had to turn his roster upside down.
Congratulations, man.
Oh, yeah. That time again, time to preview some matchups. The records will appear at the bottom of the screen. Fonts had his bye week. Let's bring up the board.
How did Mama do last week?
I have no idea. Week 11 matchups. Board is up. We start with Team Fish versus myself. I'll win, I guess. I've picked myself every week. I believe in my team. I don't quit. Well, technically I did last year. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But no, I'll beat Fish. I'll survive a little bit here. Say My Namath versus the Real Young Gun. Like this game. Close game. I am a believer in you're only as good as your last performance. Say My Namath defeats the disgusting Real Young Gun organization. Team Jacobs, Deeps Nuts. Team Jacobs, 8-3. Very surprising, 8-3. Team Justino versus Team Fontanella. This is a big game. Sadly, not game of the week, but Team Fontanella loves... Man, back-to-back weeks. He's sports now, Dan Justino.
Hits me.
Michael Fontanella created Dan Justino. Team Fontanella will destroy Dan Justino. The ride ends here. Team Font gets to 6-5. TCP Long Island Pickers. How do you bet against the Pickers? Gotta go Pickers every week until something catastrophic happens. That loss to Zach was a fluke. MMED Twan Squad. The way Twan has lucked the past couple of weeks, I don't know how you can pick him. MMED gets to 5-6. Font, your return.
After a week away, Dan Coster fills in, going 4-3 with his picks. Team Fish versus New England Porches. Pretty meaningless game for everyone involved. New England Porches will win because New England Porches deserves a win. He's been getting some shit end of a lot of stick these days.
Rough year.
It's been a very tough year.
First bad year in a while.
He wins this week. He was third in scoring last year. Say My Namath versus the Real Young Gun. Real Young Gun is just not enough. Firepower. Say My Namath continues his push towards the playoffs. Will become 5-6. Team Jacobs versus Deef's Nuts. Team Jacobs puts Deef's Nuts to bed. Deef's Nuts can go away, can stop making moves, can just do it, he's just annoying, Deep's Nuts is. So, Team Jacobs will win. Team Jacobs is a force to be reckoned with.
Man, would you have thought he was going to be 8-3?
Team
Week 11?
Team fucking Jake. Way to go, Dill.
Watch out.
You've grown up in front of our eyes. Team Justino versus Team Fontanella. This really strikes a nerve with me because I did create the man, the myth, the legend, Danny Justino, into this league. I need a win, though, more than ever. I'm going to put feelings aside. I need this dub so bad. Team Justino will put up a very good fight. I will win, though. 107 to 97. Team Justino will fall to 3-8. Still is a very good shot at returning next year. TCP versus Long Island Pickers. Obviously, Long Island Pickers will win this week. We have to face the facts, people. At this point, we need to just pray for some Long Island Pickers torn ACLs, torn patella tendons, torn everything. We need concussions for days. We need things to just fall apart for Long Island Pickers if they don't win. That's the only shot we have at them this year. They have really, really, really done a phenomenal job. Finally, MMED versus Twan Squad. MMED needs a win. Twan Squad is reeling. MMED wins, ends their, I believe it's a 4-game losing streak they end. MMED still has a chance at the playoffs. Twan still technically has a shot at the playoffs. His key will be Jonathan Stewart. If Jonathan Stewart gets going, Twan Squad will win. I don't see it happening. MMED gets the win.
Game of the week. Dueling 6 and 4s. Coach Jim, who has hit a very rough patch trying to find his identity, taking on the 3-game win streak White Mamba. Very entertaining game. Former Coach Jim, Kenneth Dixon, looks like he might get the start, as well as the man, the myth, the legend, Duke Johnson Jr.
Oh my God.
Eli Odell.
Duke Johnson Jr. putting on the cleats for the first time for the White Mamba all season long. It feels like he has been non-negotiable in any trades for this 1 week. This one reason.
He has been waiting since the draft for this specific moment.
And we are here.
CJ Fedorowicz over Cameron Braid's surprised he's not going with Cameron Braid. How well he's been playing. Ted Ginn Jr. in the flex. Interesting. He was a part of the playoff. the playoff Neps last year.
Ted Ginn Jr.
Lions D. Vinatieri. Looks like a pretty solid lineup for Mamba this week. Coach Jim Luck and Amari Cooper are back. Mike Evans is a monster. Gurley and Howard, such a hit-miss combo at running back. Graham, hopefully he can be healthy. I don't know how healthy Carlos Hyde's going to be. I mean, look at the names on this roster. At 6 and 4, you got to think, is this going to be the week where Goodman explodes again?
I think so. Who are you picking to win first of all?
This is a tough one, and this is a great choice for the game of the week. This is probably the toughest one. Boy, usually I go with the guy that's got the momentum, it's got the streak. But this week I am going to go with the White Mamba. I'm going with White Mamba. I am sticking with what I usually do. The White Mamba takes off a crippled Coach Jim.
I love Mamba. I don't like Goodman very much these days.
Who does?
It's not saying that's not a bad statement. White Mamba playing some very, 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 very questionable names this week. From Duke Johnson to Kenneth Dixon to CJ Fedorowicz to Ted Ginn Jr. It's a lot of risk, lot of risk there involved in those names. He paid up for Kenneth Dixon. You know he's getting a start for him. I don't love both these teams this week.
You know what?
I'm going to go. I love Mamba, but you have 4 very, very, very suspect starts in your lineup this week, I believe. I am going to go Coach Jim by an eyelash. Am I sensing some Porch backlash?
I'm gonna do something unprecedented.
Porch, are you switching your pick?
I'm switching my pick.
He is switching his pick. I have turned him.
Coach Jim gets the win.
Sorry, Mamba. Still a good team. Just too many questionable starts this week.
Another fantastic episode. This one almost to a close. We all know what comes next before we send off. The Power Rankings update.
Feel the power!
Playoffs approaching. Doesn't look like I'll be there, but we'll still report on it. We're still going to have fun. Font, as a man who can make the playoffs, what is your message to the league before we say goodbye once again?
Well, it's been a. I don't want to close it yet. I
Still something we want to talk
I
about?
want to speak about the Turkey Bowl a little bit.
Ooh, a little turkey bowl before we send off. All right.
So
Let's keep it going. I like it. Let's keep it
All
going. Turkey bowl and the send off.
just want to talk about the Turkey Bowl. Still don't know what day it's gonna be because
Oh my God, that's
all of a sudden we're changing the days left and right. All I have to say is, I will be there, whatever it takes to be there. Like you said, there's gonna be a lot of turmoil on the Hoffman side.
That's gonna be interesting.
Is Dennis Hassett going to show up? Is Dennis Hassett going to show his face? I mean, there's a lot going on. Is Dan Justino and Dennis Hassett going to have some sort of animosity toward each other? It's going to be a lot of headlines.
Will Font and Bove coexist as the two tight end set?
Now,
Someone going to be wanting more looks?
I'd like to say something.
Oh, boy.
Dom Bove did reach out to me via text about
Ooh.
2 weeks ago. And he gives me this idea. He says, have a great way we can, he says, have a great way we can make up and shock the world. And he sends me this, he tells me about this choreographed touchdown dance that we could do together to make up with each other.
Oh, wow.
It's weird. I'm not ready for it. Too soon, man. It's like when you go through a breakup and you're just not ready. You're not feeling it yet. Like I don't want to walk past you in the hallway.
There were better days. We have video proof that there were better days.
Like when you break up with somebody in high school and you're not ready to walk past them in the hallway yet.
You know what?
I'm not ready to walk past Dom in the hallway yet.
What happened to you and Bove, man? You used to be like this. And you know what?
I don't remember that.
I believe we have video evidence of a past weekly. Let's bring it up.
Before we get to his team, I love Dom Bove. I've been good friends with him. He's always got my back. I always got his back.
You remember saying that, Font?
That was a shadow of my former self. I don't know I was very naive back then, clearly. I guess we will revisit that tape at a later time.
Week 13.
There is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fireworks at the Turkey Bowl. I can't wait. I've been speaking to Didino, we may have a little bit of a pre-Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl, little recap, get going. Preview before the game. If that doesn't happen, it's been a pleasure as always on here with Mike Porcelli, my friend. We will see y'all next week. Good luck to all coming down to the playoffs. Peace.